At Arizona State University, we're bringing world-class education from our globally acclaimed faculty to you. Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online. That's a degree better. Learn more at asuonline.asu.edu.
I feel like such a cool girl on this trip because, you know, when you're packing for like a warm, like tropical destination, you don't really have to bring that much stuff. It's just like shorts, bathing suit, a couple dresses, whatever. So I was like, oh, look how empty my suitcase is. I'm so spontaneous. I'm so seated in my pants. I'm so, you know, low maintenance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You're a freaking power traveler.
I know it's not true, but at this particular trip is making me feel that way. So
meanwhile,
that's nice.
I didn't remember when I was packing that I had to go on the news. So here's what I brought. My daddy's little meatball t-shirt.
Oh, that's important.
The t-shirt with me and Sam Irby and a little Debbie's oatmeal cream pie on it.
Yeah,
like,
just
I was
like the news requested.
What am I supposed to wear on the freaking news? And I sort of figured it out, but it wasn't normal.
Text Me Back podcast. You on the podcast. We're back, baby. You know, it's interesting because for me and you, we're back. But for the listeners, we've been at the location
exactly
this whole time.
But what they don't know is that we've lived 1,000 lifetimes.
They don't know that.
And you know what? We've rocked them all.
I've seen a million faces and I've rocked them all. Because we're cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
On a steel horse we ride.
A steel microphone.
Although I don't think we're wanted. Although a lot of people did write in to let me know they listened to the podcast, and I appreciated that very much.
Oh, your ass is on notice.
You busted, sweetie.
I have been telling everyone at every book tour stop that Meagan does believe that the podcast has listeners because the audiences are packed with Text Me Back-alites.
If you're wondering why Lindy sounds a little bit different, it's because she's in Oklahoma, which we'll talk about later in a segment we call Tidings. Then we will delve into who's a pube and who's a puge.
That's right.
And then something else is going to happen.
But I forget what it is as well.
Yes, but
I tried to jump in.
None of my business.
You know what, Meagan? It's because today I am the producer running the board, and so I'm drunk with power.
Yes, and you're feeling maybe a little bit of the weight of the running of the show, perhaps. So basically, this what do you call it? Software? I guess we use. You can log in. You don't have to. You can just come in as a guest. But normally, I do log in and to be the host. Mm-hmm. I forgot to do that this time, so now I'm just a guest.
Yeah,
Lindy's the captain now.
Meagan came and knocking on heaven's door, and I had to let her in.
I know. And it said, wait for the host to accept. And I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I'm the frickin' I pay the bills.
I saw this little notice pop up saying Megan's in the lobby. And I said,
who?
That's my main name.
Anyways, but first, Meagan has a surprise micro segment, and it's kind of a bummer. Get excited.
Crazy lady living in a bag.
Okay, so today, I will discuss this on the Tidings. I'm going on vacation tomorrow. So I've been running around the town, getting all my various vacation sundries. And then I went to Safeway because I had to get, I have a geriatric cat who sometimes is finicky about how she takes her medicine. So I went and got her a can of tuna. If that's bad for cats, you can let me know. But the girl is 18 years old. So at this point,
you could feed her nuclear waste. She would deserve it.
Come on now, babe.
That's what she liked.
So I stopped to get some tuna, et cetera, et cetera. I go to leave the Safeway and I'm pulling out of the little parking garage thing. And I stop and look both ways. And much to my chagrin and surprise, I see like 7 federal thugs jump out of a truck and start crossing the street over to this apartment building that's next to the Safeway. And so I stop, and I don't think they were ICE. Technically ICE, because unlike ICE, they they were showing their faces, first of all. So normally ICE wears the scary like face coverings. And they were wearing like camouflage bulletproof vests that said police on it. And that's not what like DC's police department would wear. So I'm almost positive they were DHS federal agents. I don't know if they were ICE by the technical definition, but for our purposes, we'll call them ICE. And, they look exactly how you thought. And they had one token woman. And I was like, girl, what are you doing here? Get in this car. Let's get out of here, man. Anyway, so I stop and there's no one behind me. So it's not like anybody was waiting to get out of the parking garage behind me. So I stop and I lock in on them because I'm like, I'm going to observe, make sure nothing weird happens here. Okay. And one of the dickheads sees me looking and he starts gesturing at me, like trying to wave me away, like, ah, bleh. And I'm like, I'm looking both ways just to make sure I'm not blocking traffic, making sure I'm not in anybody's way so I can keep watching. And he's like, go on. And he's like trying to shoo me away.
Oh, you don't shoo Megs.
And I said, oh no. I was like, I will get detained today. I don't give a shit because this is not happening. So I roll down my window and I said, I have a First Amendment right to observe you. You can't kick me out of here. And he was like, you almost hit that guy on the bike. And I turned to my right and there's this man like 10 feet up the street on a bicycle. And I am technically blocking the sidewalk where the driveway is, but he could get around me. And I said, I did not almost hit him. I see him there and he can get around me. He's probably more worried about you than he is about me. So then the guy on the bike comes around and he goes, is that ICE? And I said, I think so. And I said, should I record? And I said, I think he's in a bad mood, but you should do whatever you feel comfortable with. Also, I'm sorry if I almost hit you. And he's like, you did not almost hit me. I was like, thanks. So then we're both watching. And then I decide to go. So I drive off because they had like, at this point they had entered the building. Then it just didn't sit right with me. I didn't like that, this is so close to my house. And I almost never see these guys up where I live in DC. They don't normally come that far north. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, you know what? Fuck that. I'm going back around just to make sure nothing weird happens. So I go back around and I go through the alley and I pull up in front of the building with my hazards on and I'm just peeking. I got my phone ready and I'm peeking. They come out of the building and see me and they all burst into laughter because they're like, oh, here's that crazy lady, as the song foretold.
They said,
crazy lady living in a bag.
And I said, I didn't say anything to them, but I made sure to just like make eye contact with the one guy as much as I could. But it's just like, what's funny?
What's funny?
First
of all, are you guys not watching the news? Everyone's filming your asses all over the country.
As they should, because you're insane. And maybe you personally aren't insane, although you are. But let's just say you're not. It's not my fault. Take it up with your colleagues. Okay, like if you don't like being perceived by the good people of the District of Columbia, then either get the fuck out of here because there's no chance you live here, and stop murdering people, which I know you don't want to do.
Take it up with Dennis Ice.
Okay. So I just wanted to share that. It just happened. It was freaking breaking news.
Wow.
And I was like, I want to share that. So I just wanted to say, I don't necessarily endorse doing what I did, but it did feel really good.
I love the part where you yelled the law at him.
Although I was like, I actually don't know if that's true. I don't know. I was like, I really don't know what the Supreme Court has done.
Sure.
On this. Anything is possible. And also, a constitutional right in a vacuum is nothing, really. I was like, it's not going to stop this man from dragging me out of my Volvo. He didn't. And by the way, when I came back around, they came out of the building with nobody. They didn't detain anyone from that building. It didn't seem like. And it just was like, yeah, I would do that. I would do it again. I would absolutely do it. I don't care. Laugh in my fucking face. Like, there's nothing funny about this. The only reason I feel like I have to do this is because you're crazy. I'll see you at the Nuremberg trials, guy. Okay?
And that's on period. Fingers crossed.
That's on period.
They probably, why they didn't detain anyone is because they were like, there's a really scary lady outside. Seems like she's a lawyer and she's watching us.
She's got 2 cans of tuna for her geriatric cat. Excuse me. That's
for her
soup
family.
for my family. Okay, so don't you Antifa me, bitch. Anyway, I just wanted to share. If you find yourself in a situation where you feel safe yelling at an iceman, I recommend. And that's Crazy Lady Living in a Bag.
Crazy lady living in a bag.
Anyway, shall we kick things off with a tidings?
Oh, please, Meagan.
Huzzah. Lindy, why do you sound different?
Well, Meagan, I'm at an Airbnb in Oklahoma. Meagan, I've fallen in love.
Yeah.
But don't get too excited, internet. It's not the kind of love that you're looking for me to fall in.
I think people would be okay with you getting married to a state.
I've fallen in love with America's mid-sized cities, Meagan.
Mm-hmm.
I've been in Oklahoma City for a week.
There's nothing in the Constitution that says you can't enter into holy matrimony with America's mid-sized cities.
Right? I think that's right.
Yeah.
That's the world the liberals want. And it's true. Okay, here's what I like about Oklahoma City. First of all, it was just sitting here all this time. It was just down here. And no one told me about it. This place, you could buy a house for like $200,000, Meagan.
Or less.
Meagan.
So much less.
We are staying in the guest house of a wealthy gay couple of like elegant professors. They have a pool house in the backyard.
Nice.
They live in the most beautiful mid-century freaking stone bungalow ? You've ever seen in your life. This town, it's full of little shops and restaurants, Meagan. I've had Laotian food twice.
Ooh.
Meagan, they don't have that here, parentheses traffic. You're looking for a traffic jam? They don't have that.
They don't have that because only 7 guys live there.
Meagan, every single day I have to go do something, such as go on the news. I type in the address for the news station to promote my show, Every Castle Ranked, my one-woman show.
Ever heard of it?
Which, by the time this airs, will no longer be happening in Oklahoma City.
You have access to time travel.
Yeah, it's playing through April 20th. So, at 19th. Whatever. It's playing through Sunday. But last Sunday, if you're listening. Not in a time machine. So, but anyway, it doesn't matter. So, okay, so I get up in the morning. Oh, I got to get to the TV station. My call time is 8:30. I got to talk on the morning show about Every Castle Ranked. I type that in, Meagan, to Google Maps. Now in Seattle, you wake up at your Airbnb, you have to go to the King 5, whatever. Baby, that's 45 minutes.
I don't have time for that.
Just sitting in a parking lot on I-5. I type this address in, Meagan. It says 7 minutes.
It's crazy.
Meagan, 7 minutes. And it's not just the TV station, Meagan. Every place in Oklahoma City is 7 minutes away.
And the parking is plentiful.
I'm doing my show at the brand new Contemporary Art Center, which was built in 2020. It is so beautiful. It rises up from the prairie, surrounded by a huge parking lot, but somehow a beautiful parking lot with trees. It has a full a basketball court. One of the days I was doing my show, they had a petting zoo set up.
Oh,
Meagan, it's a utopia here. Okay, so I don't understand why I spent so many years of my life not living in Oklahoma City.
I mean, I think if you dig deep, you probably don't even have to dig that deep. You would discover the reason why.
Meagan, on Sunday mornings, there's no line anywhere. You can go to the most popular coffee shop in town.
I wonder why that is.
Meagan, I didn't have to stand in line for donuts for even 10 seconds. There was not a soul in there.
To be honest, I can't believe stuff is open in Oklahoma City on a Sunday.
Well,
if we're being for real.
There's just enough hellbound heathens to man the coffee shop so that I can get my donut.
I love that. As our listeners, I believe know, I lived in St. Louis for 3 years. I went to law school there, and I felt the same. I loved it there. I really, really loved living there. I thought it was so fun and like lawless in kind of a fun way. It was just like alcohol is available for purchase everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere. In Missouri, and I'm not saying I like this, okay, but in Missouri, you can carry an open container of alcohol in your car as long as you're not driving. That's insane what they get up. But it is the home of Anheuser-Busch.
Right.
So that's probably why. But everything's really cheap. Like you could get, I'm not even joking, you can get like a mansion in the city limits for like $300,000, like 8-10 bedrooms. It's really crazy. The downside is, as much as I loved St. Louis, you got to deal with the politics, and the politics are existential. So
yeah,
it's rough.
Maybe America's mid-sized cities aren't all they're cracked up to be. Okay, but I'm not done talking. Okay. I've met lots of wonderful people here in Oklahoma City who all seem normal. And I've met lots of people who are progressive and fun and funny and cool.
Yeah.
So so shout out to them. But, okay, other places I've been recently. Pittsburgh. Oh boy, does Pittsburgh rock.
They don't talk about Pittsburgh enough. That's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm hearing.
Meagan.
I think it might be time for a Pittsburgh Renaissance.
Maybe it's time for a Pittsburgh Lindy and Meagan.
Lindy and Meagan.
But yeah, so I'm here doing my show. I want to tell you just 2 adventures. So one adventure is that I went on the news on Monday and Tuesday.
Nice.
On Monday, I went on Fox morning show. Tuesday, I went on ABC morning show.
Sweet.
And on on Monday, I was in the green room with the rodeo queen and princess, who were like 2 tiny little kids who won an award. I don't know, but they were wearing huge hats and huge belt buckles, and they tucked their little thumbs into their jeans pockets.
Oh,
and it was so cute.
You don't see that these days.
We don't have
see a
that.
lot of thumbs tucked in the jean loops.
So that was very exciting. Oh, also Meagan. Oh, you're gonna hate this. I'm so sorry. Also on Monday, I got there at like 8:30. And they brought me into the lobby, and then there was like, I don't know, a producer who came out to greet us, but she was very stressed and kind of distracted and was just like, oh, hi. Okay, so I'll show you to the green room. Then another producer walked by, and the first producer said to the other one, she was like, hey, have you heard anything? Because the Thunder was supposed to be here at 8:15 and they're not here yet. Meagan, those boys weren't even born when your team was taken from you.
I don't care.
But
who cares?
Yeah, but you weren't there. Can I be excited to meet the boys?
Yeah, but you prefaced this story by saying you're gonna hate this, and I do. So go ahead. We're all entitled to our own feelings.
But I would be happy for you if you got to meet the Tour de France men.
Did they harm you in some way in the past?
Did Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, did J. Will himself harm you, Meagan?
Yes, it's not about individual actors. It's about the system, Lindy. Get a grip.
Meagan, you're bullying me again. Remember when you felt bad for bullying me? And
I don't feel bad anymore. Also, you said you're going to hate this.
What does that have to do with anything?
And then I reacted in the exact way you believed, and you're still sad about it.
Well, no, because maybe that's something that I say as self-protection to say, please rise above.
Well, then you need to use your words.
Meagan, please rise above and be excited about me almost meeting the Thunder, except that they were too sleepy and they didn't come.
Now that I like.
That's the end of the story. They did not show up. But
I like that they slept in. That's funny to me.
Maybe they heard I was going to be there.
And they were like, Seattle, gross.
But then on Tuesday, I went to the other news station, and they took me immediately on stage to shoot. It was very scary. No time in the green room whatsoever. And then, which was too bad because that green room, okay, morning television. So the first green room, we show up, it's filled with tiny cowgirls.
Mm-hmm.
The second green room, we didn't go in it, but we walked by it, and it was filled with like biker babes. Like it's like 30 Rock or like anyway, I don't know what they were there for, but they bring me up, they sit me down in the chair, and then I watched the segment before me, which was two anchors. There's like a black lady and a white lady, and they're both like, I don't know, maybe mid-30s at most.
Mm-hmm.
And they're doing a story about new inductees into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yes.
And the white lady was doing the story while the black lady stood there. And the white lady goes, a new class of stars inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame this week, including Luther Vandross, which we'll get to in a minute, and Sade.
Oh.
And the black lady was like,
no. Wow, that actually is a hate crime. Oh no.
and the,
Oh, no.
like truly the black lady anchor like ran out of the frame.
You better learn how to pronounce Sade. I don't. Oh boy.
Well, and then she came running back in, and she was like, no. And the white lady was like, did I get something wrong? And she was like,
yeah,
she was
big
like,
time.
it's Sade. And the white lady was like, oh, this is why you guys shouldn't give me the segments with names to pronounce. It's like,
they're all names to pronounce. Everyone's name is a name to pronounce.
Anyway, it was a very exciting morning for me.
You got to see a blooper live and in person.
And do you know that I love news bloopers?
Girl, you know I love a blooper.
Okay, can we talk about the lost blooper?
Which one?
Okay, I feel like I have tried to find this, and not lately, so maybe this is moot.
Mm-hmm.
But there used to be, maybe it was on Talk Soup or something, there was a clip of Dave Thomas, founder of Wendy's, trying to say the phrase muchas gracias because they had some kind of Southwestern burger, jalapeno burger.
Ooh,
and so they had, I hope all of you remember when Dave himself used to
of course,
star in the commercials. So there was a blooper reel of him saying, I'm Dave Thomas, founder of Wendy's. We hope to see you come in for the Southwestern burger. Moockus Grackus.
Oh.
And then he said different versions of Moockus Grackus like 30 times. Like he couldn't say it. And I know that is not a false memory. I know that because I watched it a million times, but I've tried to find it online and I can't find it.
I've never heard of it, but I didn't watch Talk Soup at the same level that you did at the time. So I don't know.
But why wouldn't it be in blooper reels on the internet when you search?
Don't know. Maybe because, look, here it is.
Oh, you found it? Oh, well, see, I knew it would be moot.
Hang on. Macho Grasses. Wow. Okay, so I just found it. It's on TikTok.
Thank God.
But I think it was only posted 2 years ago. So you probably haven't searched since the advent, really, of TikTok.
No, I have not. That's right. Thank you, Megan.
They're playing. Oh, it's just not something you would make now. The song in the background is not La Cucaracha. I don't know the name of it, but it's like da 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 da.
The Mexican the Mexican hat dance
song, and it's like that's a lot. That's a lot, Dave.
Moockus Grackus.
I'll send it to you. We'll make sure everyone gets a chance to see this commercial in all its glory.
Can I ask you a question, Megan?
Yes.
About news bloopers specifically?
Yes.
How happy are we allowed to feel about DD Mega Doo-Doo, given that a woman has died?
What's DD Mega Doo-Doo?
What are you talking about? No.
That's not coming back to me.
Oh, so what happened was a cop was killed and her name was like Deirdre.
I'm watching it now. Oh, Deidre Mengadot.
Yeah.
And she calls her DD Mega Doo Doo. I think you're allowed to laugh.
Megan,
He's the one who said DD Mega Doo Doo. That doesn't have anything to do with me.
it doesn't have anything to do with Deirdre either, let's just say. Because Megan, that changed my life. I've never been the same since DD Mega Doo Doo. It's better than Adele Dazeem to me.
No one thought to practice before the broadcast. They went straight to DD Mega Doo Doo.
Also, not even the woman went to sound out Deirdre Megadot and she didn't say.
She missed the N.
She added doo doo. She said
the T.
She said DD Mega Doo Doo, Megan.
She said that. And only 3 of those letters are in this woman's last name. So good for her.
Megan, I can't believe that DD Mega Doo Doo didn't cross your path.
I feel like I've seen it, but it wasn't, I guess it wasn't as transformative, it didn't stick in my mind.
That's crazy to me. I thought, I don't judge you for that. Because typically you have finer tastes than I.
Well, I think that Bella Noche's took up a lot of space in my mind for news related laughs. A recent one it's not a blooper, but a recent one that I really liked. My friend Shannon sent me. She lives near Virginia Tech, and I guess the dean or the president of Virginia Tech stepped down or was I don't know what happened to him, but he gone. Anyway, so this reporter went to campus to be like, "What's your reaction to the dean leaving Virginia Tech?" And one student goes, "To be honest with you, my first thought was diva down."
That's a really good one.
Honestly, not only is that really funny, shout out to the news for including that. That's important. That's culture. You know what I mean?
I feel like, speaking of Wild West, like you were saying about St. Louis, I feel like maybe broadcast news has become Wild West because who's watching
They're
it?
like, nobody watches this. Let's fucking go apeshit on here.
Let's fucking go apeshit on here. Dude, okay, this is maybe I'm betraying some kind of sacred trust by telling you this, but whatever. Also, when I was waiting to do my segment, they had to quickly cut to the weatherman because, by the way, we're also having tornado warning all week. So at any moment, I might be swept away to the land of Oz. I say, you want me to be mayor of the Munchkin City?
Okay.
I guess if that's what you need.
Yes. Yeah, sure.
Anyway, so then I'm sitting there still on my couch observing. The weatherman does his little weather. He says there's a possibility of large hail, which haven't seen that yet either, nor have I seen a tornado. But last night we did have thunder and lightning, which was very exciting. But they were like, now we're going to throw it to our sister affiliate in Dayton, Ohio or something to talk more about this storm system. And then I couldn't hear it, but because it was on their headphones. But then they're clearly playing this clip. And the weatherman is sitting next to the 2 anchors. And he's like, classic weatherman. You've never seen a more weatherman. He, at some point, he goes, he scoffs. He turns to the 2 anchors. He goes, kind of redundant. He's critiquing his colleague at their sister affiliate in Dayton. She said none of the tornadoes have touched down yet. It only becomes a tornado when it touches down. So,
damn.
Damn,
dude.
It's redundant to say that the tornado touched down. It wouldn't be a tornado if it.
And
I was like, ooh,
spicy. Steve Poole would never. Jeff Renner would never. Okay.
Jim Castillo, maybe.
Walter Kelly, absolutely. Well, that sounds fun. I'm glad you're having a nice time in Oklahoma City.
Yeah, and I saw a bison.
Oh, just in the town?
Yeah. No, I drove to a wildlife refuge.
Oh.
And
that makes more sense.
They're just all over the place, Megan, and they're so cute. And there was there was a bison right next to the road, and this car in front of us had stopped to look at the bison. So then we pulled up behind them to look at the bison, and then the bison started to look perturbed, and then started to steadily walk toward the car in front of us, staring at it with a wild eye. I know.
No.
And I was like, oh my,
You better back it up.
Oh my God. Oh my God. And then it started to run. Megan, it said cluck, clop, cluck, clop, cluck, clop. And I thought, it's about to ram this bitch.
Yeah, you thought it was curtains for their ass.
I thought it was curtains for their Nissan Rogue. And then, but you know what, Megan? It was an issue of depth perception because actually it just ran in front of them across the highway to get to its friend on the other side. But it was
nice.
So exciting.
That's nice.
Yeah. And I went to a place called Braums, which is a local Oklahoma City-based regional fast food chain. I think I ordered the wrong thing because it's famous for hamburger, and I got pimento cheese chicken sandwich.
Ew, God. Oh, I don't think that's on Braums. Well, it's on Braums for serving that on their menu, but come on now.
I did receive a look like no one has ever ordered this before.
Yeah. I guess we'll have to defrost the pimento for you for the first time. Well, that's very nice. Would you like to hear my tidings?
Literally more than anything.
This is not even anything. I mean, my tiding is I'm going on vacation tomorrow. I don't have anything to tell you about it yet.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll lead your tiding, which is that you're going on vacation tomorrow.
I'm going on vacation tomorrow.
Where you will fulfill
prophecy.
Almost a year long.
Yes. It is the culmination of Megan's journey. El viaje de Megan. Okay?
In dos ways.
Is it dos ways?
More ways than uno.
I'm going to Puerto Rico. I'm very excited. We were originally going to go to the Bahamas because the Bahamas has that insane resort called Atlantis that has like 85,000 water slides. Yep. And like, I don't know, 150,000 miles of lazy river or some shit like that.
and 800 feral pigs.
Yes, 50 to 60 feral hogs. So I was like, oh, we should go there. Then there was some sort of kerfuffle. Oh, it just was taking forever for my husband's passport renewal to be approved. And I was panicking. This was like a few months ago when it was like right in the thick of that insane snowstorm that we had here where everything iced over and nobody could get anywhere. And it was making me panic because it was reminding me of the early days of COVID when you couldn't go anywhere. And I lost my fucking mind. Right. You know, I feel like that was a great time for the introverts. For me, it was actually torture.
Well,
okay.
You don't have to explain that to our listeners, Megan, because we captured it on the podcast.
I did not like it. Anyways, I was losing my mind. I couldn't go anywhere. And it was definitely feeling like early COVID days. And I was like, we have to get out of here. We have to go somewhere immediately. So the passport was taking forever, and I was like, okay, fuck that. We're just gonna go someplace that doesn't require a passport. So we landed on Puerto Rico. I believe that when I get there, Benito will be waiting to see me, my beautiful baby boy, Bad Bunny. Honestly, I really didn't pick it because of Megan's journey. But then after I pitched it to myself and to my husband, I was like, that is a little bit of the culmination of Megan's journey. I love that. That's nice. So I'm very excited. I've never been. I'm very excited. We're staying at a hotel outside of San Juan, but we're going to spend at least a full day in Old San Juan. We're going to go to the Bacardi distillery and have a little beveragino, which I'm excited for. And check this out. So I'm booking the trip and I'm like, well, I'm bummed that we can't go to the Bahamas due to the insane resort with 1 trillion water slides. Not to mention the 60 to 90 feral hogs. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So then I go online and I say, hotel with lazy river in Puerto Rico, ? And the internet said, there is one that has that. Here it is. Here's the address. Here's the website. And so I booked it and I will be dunking my ass in a lazy river at long last. Long last. Megan, now here's the sad news. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I just wanted to say, imagine that these glasses on my face are 2 inner tubes and the people in the inner tubes are holding hands and that's the nose bar in the middle. And
Yes.
then imagine that my right eyeball is Megan Hatcher Mays. Imagine
Yes.
that my left eyeball is Benito.
I'm diving deep into the wells of your eyes, imagining it. Thank you.
I like to insert myself into every story when I am having
No,
FOMO.
I really liked that. So I'm excited. I didn't really plan anything. The last time I planned our trip to Italy, I feel like I overdid it. I planned too much stuff. So this time I only planned 2 things: Bacardi distillery and half a day on a boat.
Okay.
The sad news is it's supposed to rain the entire time we're there.
I think tropical rain is different. Like if you go to Hawaii, it rains every day and you're like,
Sure.
oh no, my vacation. But that's just a
It's
normal,
fine.
It's like a couple hours a day and it's warm and you can like still be swimming.
Yeah. So it'll be fine. I don't know.
We got our wires crossed here. When I said that you're culminating Megan's journey in more ways than Uno, I meant Benito, but also the main culmination is called you're finally going in a lazy river after talking about it so much that many listeners wrote in and said,
Yes, that's what I said.
Oh, well, I know you mentioned it, but I felt like the emphasis was on the Benito.
Well, yes. Yes.
And of course. But I guess what I'm saying is I'd love to hear more about your feelings about finally.
Well, I don't feel excited yet because I'm anxious about the
Right.
weather. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like once I get there, it'll be fine. And I'm just going to go in and whatever. But I was just feeling a little
Yeah.
sad, like a little bit, I was feeling a little martyr dummy because I was like, of course this would happen to me because I am the most put upon human being who ever lived. Nothing good ever happens to me. And that's why my vacation is being ruined by the local affiliate weatherman in Dayton, Ohio.
Megan, yeah, I can imagine maybe you're picturing yourself splayed out in the inner tube being pestered with raindrops.
Yeah.
Like Prometheus on the rock having his liver pecked out by a bird every day.
That's one of the top things I'm thinking of.
Okay, but here's what I'm thinking of actually.
Go on.
I think that you have just done a good deed called protect your neighbor from ice. And so maybe the karma will deliver unto you sunshine.
That's all I want is like a couple of sunny days. That could be so nice. It's been a long time since I've been on vacay. The last time we went to Italy. Like I was saying, I just planned too much stuff. I got pickpocketed, as people will recall. And it was really hot and I was really sweaty. And, my husband walked so much that he had to take a day off because his legs hurt too bad. And I was like, oh, Jesus, I really fucked this one up bad. Damn. So I was like, this time we're just going to lay down. And now I feel like my laying down plans are being threatened by weather. Do you know what I mean? So I'm feeling a little sad. I don't know. Whatever. It's fine. So we're leaving tomorrow. We got to take the dogs to the dog hotel. It's always sad to leave your children behind. And also I always get it. So Kevin wears a little air tag. So he pops up on my phone as Kevin. And every time I leave him somewhere or like at the vet or wherever, my phone will send a notification that says Kevin was left behind.
You got to turn that off. You got to turn that off.
You know what? It's so evil.
Can you change the language so it says Kevin is having the time of his life right now?
Kevin doesn't mind is what it will say.
He doesn't.
He don't care.
He's fine.
He don't care.
Megan, I relate because I have that same feeling when it's me's AirPods have been left behind because of course I put myself in my phone as me. So now it says me ''S's AirPods. And then I'm like, my AirPods are sad.
They're crying. I had a real Lindy thought today when I was doing my laundry. It was one of the things I'm trying to get done before we go. And there's many things about the laundry I enjoy doing. One is sorting. I like to sort. Mm-hmm. It's really fun for me, but I hate to fold because it reminds me of my tenure as a retail employee.
Right. Yeah.
Although I still got a real solid drop fold. I don't need the folding board.
Wow.
Okay.
I believe it.
Yeah. So, but my least favorite laundry quadrant is the whites, because the whites have all the socks in it. And so when you go to fold the whites, you got to pair up all the socks. Brings up a lot of feelings of like, originally, which one of you went with which one of you?
Oh,
you know what I mean?
brother.
Because I bought like a 6-pack of white socks or whatever
Right.
for the gym. So I just had this thought today. I was like, I wonder if like I'm pairing up these socks with the sock they were paired up with in the package.
Megan, I've never even had that thought. Megan, you gotta think of the socks as a polycule. It's the only way.
I was like, nah, you guys are just having a nice time visiting, moving around.
Mm-mm.
I was like, I can't go down that road. I can't do it.
No.
Anyway, so that's tomorrow. Off we go onto an aeroplane.
I'm excited for you. I know
I'm
that
excited
I know
too.
you're stressed. I'm so sorry that you're feeling so stressed about the weather.
Yeah.
I went to Puerto Rico once and I don't remember it being like blisteringly sunny, and I had a great time.
Okay. It'll be all right.
Yeah,
Everything's
it'll
fine.
be all right. I mean, and also there's lots of land-based activities. Like we went to a terrifying colonial fort. They're like, here's the dungeons.
Ugh.
And just walking around old San Juan.
San Juan.
Um,
I think it will be nice.
yeah.
It will be nice. Everything's fine. And also I feel like such a cool girl on this trip because, you know, when you're packing for like a warm, like tropical destination, you don't really have to bring that much stuff. It's just like shorts, bathing suit, a couple dresses, whatever. So I was like, oh, look how empty my suitcase is. I'm so spontaneous. I'm so seat in my pants. I'm so, low maintenance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You're a freaking power traveler.
I know it's not true, but at this particular trip is making me feel that way. So
Meanwhile,
that's nice.
I didn't remember when I was packing that I had to go on the news. So here's what I brought. My Keith Morrison t-shirt. My daddy's little meatball t-shirt.
Oh, that's important.
The
Mhm.
t-shirt with me and Sam Irby and a little Debbie's oatmeal cream pie on it.
Yeah,
Like, I
just
was like,
the news requested.
what am I supposed to wear on the freaking news? And I sort of figured it out, but it wasn't normal.
It was. I don't think they'll mind.
I should have worn Daddy's little meatball.
Yes, Oklahoma City would have eaten that right up. We're gonna take a little break though, and then come back.
With segment pubes.
Get into it.
This podcast is sponsored by Talkspace.
Last year, I went through many different life changes. I needed to take a pause and examine how I was feeling in the inside to better show up for the ones who need me to be my best version of myself.
When you're navigating life's changes, Talkspace can help. Talkspace is the #1 rated online therapy, bringing you professional support from licensed therapists and psychiatry providers that you can access anytime, anywhere.
Living a busy life, navigating a long-distance relationship, becoming a first-step father, Talkspace made all of those journeys possible. I could speak with my therapist in the office. I could speak with my therapist in the comfort of my home. I was never alone.
Talkspace works with most major insurers, and most insured members have a $0 copay. No insurance, no problem. Now get $80 off your first month with promo code SPACE80 when you go to Talkspace.com. Match with a licensed therapist today at Talkspace.com. Save $80 with code SPACE80 at Talkspace.com.
Welcome back to the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
It's time for a segment we haven't done in a while, which is weird because it's probably our most popular segment. And I say that because it's our first baby, our eldest child. This our #1 original jingle, the segment pubes jingle.
Segment pubes.
Remember when that came in, Megan? We couldn't believe
Yeah,
it.
wow. And then Stephen went on to produce so many additional bangers after that too. I just thought that's the zenith of what's possible with music. And then he
Yes.
outdid himself over and over again.
Yes.
It's crazy.
Yes.
It's a regular Luther Vandross.
Yes. Get ready, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Here comes Steven. Can I begin?
Yeah, please. Because wait. Can I just say that you teased this pube like 2 weeks ago? You were like, I'm not going to tell you the story yet.
To you, not on the
me.
show.
Oh, yeah,
I texted it to you. Yeah. So.
And you don't usually do that. You don't usually.
I know.
You usually just will give me the goods. But this one,
I'm a famous hater of the podcast, but this is so good that I thought I should save it. So look, listen up, gang. Big news. Text Me Back podcast has a hater, or potentially 3 haters. I'm not totally sure how many, but at least one. So I don't know. We don't need to get into it, but like things have been a little rocky for one of our hosts over the last couple of weeks, and things have been kind of weird with like our Instagram notifications and stuff. And
I wondered if you were in there like deleting stuff.
No, honestly, I'm so sorry to say this, but your viral moment did gangbusters for the old podcast. We got like something like 300 new followers on Instagram or whatever. It was crazy.
Incredible.
And our stuff was usually if we have something that's popular, it takes days for the likes to roll in. People were immediately like, bing, 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 ting, 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 like so excited to be engaged with Text Me Back podcast. I was like, well, this won't last forever, but thanks to Lindy and also, sorry. Anyway, but we weren't getting like mean comments, but we did get like one weird DM from somebody that was like, from a white man, big shocker there, that was just like, why don't you let me comment on your posts? Doesn't seem like a very good marketing strategy for your podcast if you won't even let me comment on the... And I was like, do you think I'm fucking stupid? Like, I'm not responding to this at all. You think I'm... What's wrong with you? By the way, here's the barrier of entry to comment on one of our Instagram posts at Text Me Back Pod. You just have to follow the account. That's the only hurdle keeping you from commenting. And he couldn't even do that. I was like, this is just lazy troll work, dude.
Yeah.
I've seen better. I've seen better. Anyway, so I just thought that was kind of like a weird one-off, whatever. But it just felt like there was like a darkness just on the edges of our podcast kingdom. And I couldn't quite put my finger on what was going on. Then we started to get some messages on the best friend party phone. And that just... this might be surprising to people, but that just really never happens. I'm actually kind of surprised it never has, but we really don't get, because given that you've been like a famous target for trolls and racists and fat phobic people, I'm actually surprised we don't get more hate stuff, but we just don't. It's kind of interesting.
A funny thing that I've learned in the last month that I didn't realize is that it turns out that most people think that I died, that I like fell off the face of the earth in 2012 and haven't been seen since.
She's still alive, folks. Not to encourage anybody.
No,
but she's still alive.
I've been working pretty steadily the whole time. I don't know.
She's like, cruising. She's
people
cruising
keep
along.
being like, people keep being like the prominent 2010s feminist. I'm like, I
had a show.
I'm a 2020s feminist as well.
The show ended in 2020, did it not? Come on.
I have a podcast, okay?
Hello? So then we get an email that's like, or like a voicemail. And here's the thing. When you leave a voicemail on the best friend party phone, Google sends me a transcript of what you say. And so mostly I can tell if it's worth listening to based on the transcript. Now, the transcript is not perfect. And oftentimes it'll garble up what you say. And I can kind of figure it out sometimes. Sometimes I can't. This time we get one that says like, Tony Burrito sent me. And I'm like, that can't be right. I was like I was like, there must be some garbled mix up with the transcription service or whatever.
Mayor of Oklahoma City.
Yeah. I was like, okay, whatever. Then we get another one that both name checked Tony Burrito and Anthony Cumia, the shock jock from the 90s. Right.
Well, he was still around when I was a 2010s feminist because that's when he got canceled for being a racist.
Okay. And our 2010s anti-feminist and I was like, now why is he back in my consciousness? Like, what the fuck is this? So then I Google Tony Burrito and turns out that's a real guy. Now, that's not actually his name. I'm not using his real name, but I promise you, Tony Burrito is pretty close. Okay. So I search. So here's what I do. But it is a real guy, but I'm like, I don't understand who that is. And then I search, which this could have gone bad. I search a combination of your name and Tony Burrito and some other names. And right away, like a new episode of a podcast pops up that I have never heard before. And I'm like, what is this? And so I go to it and Apple Podcasts has a whole transcript of what they say. So I didn't have to listen to it. Thank God. I don't think I would have made it.
But it's probably really funny.
Who could say? But the premise of the podcast is this group of guys listens to podcasts that they know they're not going to like. And then they do a whole episode about how stupid that they think it is, right?
Yeah.
So one of their listeners emailed them to say, you should listen to Text Me Back podcast hosted by Lindy and her friend Meagan. And so you know how sometimes we joke on this show, if you're an incel and you're listening, and we always think there's no incels that are listening. It's not true. There are incels listening.
Shout out to Jeremy.
Hey, bud, I know it's been a rough week with, clavicular overdosing on meth, but I hope you're hanging in there. Okay. Anyway, so I'm reading the transcript and it's like, oh, thanks for letting us know about this podcast. I'd never heard of it before. And they immediately launch into this thing about how like our podcast is unsuccessful and stupid. I was like, I've been saying that. So that's not news.
Meagan finally found her people.
I know. I was like, you should have me on the show. I'll tell you all about it. Anyway, but the reason they think it's unpopular is because we don't have very many followers on YouTube. And I was like, it just was this fascinating look at a way a certain segment of people think about life. And I just like, that's so weird. And then they were like making fun of our videos and stuff. And they're like, why do they do their videos like this? I was like, what is this? It's so stupid. So then I'm like reading along the transcript and it's, it wasn't even very creative. It was just like, you're fat. We're unfuckable. I'm fat also. And I was like, yeah, we've, I think, covered this. And the episode that they listened to was the episode where we were talking about heated rivalry and we were talking again a little bit about sports and we were wondering like, what's the most conservative league? It's the NHL, followed very closely by MLB. And I think the stat that I saw was that like 47% of the MLB guys are registered Republicans. Mm-hmm. So Tony Burrito goes, what an idiot. Like 53% of MLB is Democrats and that's not liberal enough for you. And I was like, bro, I failed high school math and had to go to summer school for math. And even I know that just because the MLB is 47% Republican does not mean the remaining 53% is Democratic.
Now, Tony.
Tony.
Tone. Buddy.
Tone. Big T.
Oh, do you need a little help? You need a little help
okay?
with your math homework? You
okay?
I thought that men were the masters of STEM.
Huh. Well, keep me posted. Anyway, so it was this whole thing about how stupid we are and how one of his co-hosts is like, I've never in my life wondered when some guy came up to bat, gee, I wonder if he voted for Barack Obama. And I was like, honestly, that's really funny. And I just was like, me neither. That was the whole point of the segment. Lindy, since that has aired, I spent $149 to buy MLB TV so I can watch baseball. All I was saying is, don't ask any follow-up questions so you can continue to enjoy.
Exactly.
That's all. And then he accused me he was like, I bet they think just because a lot of Latino guys play, I'm paraphrasing, that like they're all Democrats. And I was like, why would I think that? What are you talking about? So it basically was just like this like beautifully like perfect distillation of like some guys had this vision in their mind of what we're like. They took like some seeds of what we actually said and then from there built this like a bunch of shit we didn't actually say to make themselves more mad about how much they disliked us.
What's that like?
I don't
Meagan?
know, man. I think you might be mad about something else, which we talked about in that episode you listened to, Tony.
Aww.
So I was
Can I
like,
say something really quick?
yeah, go ahead.
So you guys are the ones
Yeah.
who freaking threw Colin Kaepernick down a mine shaft.
Sorry, like he didn't do anything. Like so like one of the first things they say about our show and why they dislike it is that they're like, it's supposedly a comedy show, but they have a political agenda. We all know how well that works out when you have a comedy show with a political agenda. And I was like, what do you think you're doing? Like, what do you think you're making? By the way, it will surprise no one to know they went on to just like very casually use the F slur and the R word. And I was like, is that not politics that you're doing right now? That is, it's not like you guys are engaging in some sort of neutrality if you're using slurs and complaining about two women talking. Now, here's the best. No, there's two more best parts.
I can't wait.
So the other thing we talked about in that show is how men invented a new word to vocal fry to complain about women talking. And I say something like, it's crazy that you had to invent a whole ass new word just to tell women to shut up. This fucking guy, Tony Burrito, he goes, well, yeah, it was a new phenomenon. So we had to create a new word for it. He says, the ancient Greeks came up with new words all the time. There didn't used to be a word for the blue of the ocean, which is why in ancient Greek texts, they refer to it as dark wine colored. And I was like, okay, Homer, what are you talking about? You think that inventing the phrase vocal fry to describe a way that women talk that you don't like is the same as fucking Socrates?
Okay, it doesn't.
Okay.
Now, look, we were all English majors, and we all learned about the wine dark sea.
Okay.
Tony.
Tony.
But the analogy doesn't even work because you said vocal fry is a new phenomenon,
Which it isn't.
and that's why it needed a new word. So are you saying that the sea changed from wine colored to blue, and that's why Homer said, or I guess Homer's son,
Homer's whoever.
Bart said,
Or was it Lisa who said?
Spartacus? It wasn't. It wasn't Lisa.
It was absolutely not Lisa. Don't joke about
said,
that.
Hey, I now call this blue. Talking about. Also, it's obviously not a new phenomenon, you fucking moron.
Like, there's been words for it in it's Valley Girl accent or like whatever. There was
There's
all
always
kinds of shit that you always have to find some word for what women sound like because it pisses you off. It was just so ridiculous. And I honestly, I know it doesn't seem like this is true. And this is probably like very much like, don't put it in the newspaper that I got mad. But honestly, the whole thing I was like, man, this is our hater. He's not even that good at this.
I know.
Like, his isn't even that interesting. So then, they spend the whole time complaining about us and how fat and unfuckable we are and how our podcast sucks and isn't funny. And we're not popular because of YouTube. By the way, if you want to prove Tony Burrito wrong, go follow us on YouTube, dude. Link in bio. All right? Let's prove him wrong. So then he goes on to say, and here's where it gets interesting. He goes on to say, here's their phone number. And he gives out the best friend party phone, which is 703-829-0003. I'm not afraid. Not scared.
It's
okay.
That's pod. Tax. Oof. The O's are zeros.
It's a new word we had to invent to describe the color of the phone number. So anyway, so he's like, here's their phone number. Give them a call and tell them Tony Burrito sent you. So this is him. And they've spent this whole podcast talking about how popular they are. And I'm sorry, I forgot about the best part, or one of the best parts. There's so many parts for the best parts. Also in that episode they listened to, I say something, because we're kind of talking about, are you allowed to go to a hockey game and yell kiss at the players? And then I say, who cares what some millionaire's opinion is? Right. And this man goes, oh, really, Megan? You're supposed to want to be a millionaire. Are you really going to sit there? He's like, by the way, I'm all paraphrasing, so I don't know how like literally this is how he said it, was something along those lines. And then he says something like, are you really going to sit there and act like if you were a millionaire, you would stop making your podcast? And I was like, unequivocally, Yes, you would never hear. If I were, excuse me, if I were a millionaire, you would never hear from me again. Everyone would say, whatever happened to Megan? I hope she's happy wherever the fuck she is. And the answer is, yeah, I'm doing great in my fucking villa. I don't even have internet out here. Okay, leave me alone. So they muster the troops. They're fucking, Theoden King on the battlefield talking about ride toward ruin, ride towards text me back pod, death, Do you want to guess how many of their listeners answered the call?
3? Really?
Exactly right.
3?
It was 3. It was 3 fucking guys. And by the way, these guys are so bad at trying to hurt my feelings. Our feelings. They, 2 of the guys called in. One guy called in to be like, you're a fat, unfuckable bitch, which is, that's mean, right? The other 2 guys, one guy called in to say, hello, Lindy and Meagan. I just came from the doctor and they say I have a bigger penis than you. And then he says, Tony Burrito sent me. And I was like, okay, yeah.
I would hope so, bud.
Well, yes. Thanks for calling. And then the third guy called and said, and he's doing some sort of Donald Trump impression. And he's like, Lindy and Meagan, I'm on my way to the White House. I know you hate me, but guess what? I have a micro penis. What is that? I don't care. That doesn't hurt me in any way.
Who listens to this podcast?
And also what? Watch a few episodes of the Friars Roast of some. Pick anybody. It doesn't matter.
What? I'm so
what
sorry.
Is this?
Listen to a few episodes of Text Me Back podcast, and you'll learn better joke construction than that.
It was wild. I was like, you have a micro penis is your devastating diss of me?
Back in high school, Megan and I were roasting each other better than that. We used to scream at each other down the crowded hall. Oh, Megan, you left your ass cream in.
And there was the classic. Actually, this was lots of people do this, but I learned it from my baby cousin. She was a baby at the time, but now she's an adult. And she would just pick the most raggedy person on the sidewalk and go, Megan, that's your boyfriend. That cut deeper than I have a micro penis.
Yeah, this is a sad, sad story. And it makes me feel
honestly, I feel bad for them. Yeah.
I know. I kind of feel because we could definitely rally more Text Me Back lights to go send them an email.
Yeah,
which we
I'm
would
not
never
going to, but I think we could beat 3.
I think we could beat 3.
I think we could get up to 6. I don't even want to roast them. It's not fun. It's punching down at this point. It's sad.
That didn't hurt my feelings at all.
At all.
Do they have any? Here's the thing about men. You guys have no fucking idea.
Oh my God.
The grizzled veterans of the frickin' gender wars, what we've been through.
You have no idea. Dude, one time my friend Melissa was walking down the street, Capitol Hill, Seattle. This guy leans his whole body out of his car and, hey girl, bet you got a whole lot of pussy under that ass. And then just drove off. Zoom. Now you think I have a micro penis is even going to pierce my defense? Come on.
Tony
Burrito, what is this? That's sad. So anyway, I did some Googling of Tony Burrito. He's a real guy. He's got a podcast. Again, Tony Burrito is not his real name, but again, it is really close to what it is. And I guess he is being sued by one of Howard Stern's
Goons.
sidekicks.
Yep.
Yeah. For stealing his couch off the side of the road. So shout out to Tony Burrito for that little stunt. And the main picture I found of Tony Burrito was him hanging out with 2 off-brand Muppets. And he's kind of doing that sorry, you're going to have to watch this visually, but he's making this face. The little soy boy O face. And I was like, you're coming for me? I'm beautiful. This is crazy.
This is great.
This is so nuts. And by the way, he's 57. Talking about F slur, R word.
Well,
get a grip.
Gen X does not want to let go of
I know.
Of F slur,
they
R
love
word.
It. They do. They love it.
You know what? Our podcast actually is, despite Megan's best efforts, our podcast is a success.
Yeah.
And
that's what they say.
It's self-sustaining. And sometimes we give ourselves a little paycheck.
We make money. Yeah, a little bit. Mm-hmm.
I'm not looking for 30,000 losers to follow me.
I don't care.
We have like 10,000 angels. So
here's the thing. How I know deep down our podcast is successful. And this is real. We'll pull back the curtain on the books right now. I'm going to do it right now.
Okay.
Maybe we don't have 1,000,000 trillion listeners, but what we do have is a core group of deeply committed listeners, which again and again, I promise you, is so much better than having like double the listeners, but they're very casual and don't really care. The conversion rate of our podcast, so that means like listeners to people who subscribe to the Patreon, is like 15%. Sometimes it's 20, depends on what day you check. 15% is an unheard of conversion rate. That means that of all of you who listen to the show, more than like double the average of other shows want to financially support our show. So to me, this whole thing was just like I said, it was really kind of sad because like if somebody comes at you, you want it to be good. You want to get into like a little, have a little duel. And I just was like, oh. And then you look at a picture of these guys and it's like, oh God. Anyway, that's Tony Burrito. I just wanted to share. But the big reveal was 3 guys called in and 2/3 of them were complaining about themselves. So
I know, because I like the second call implied that he went to the doctor to check and make sure that his penis was the right size.
I actually need to speak on this. Why is your doctor telling you what size my dick is? That's a HIPAA violation. Okay, so what? Name names. What doctor was telling you about my dick?
Also, what is this, investigation discovery, where you just call a random doctor and then you have to put a disclaimer that says doctor has not actually treated Lindy and Meagan's penises?
Eat shit, Tony Burrito. Anyway, So that's my tiding. I just wanted to share. We've made it, baby. We've made it.
So funny how the human brain adapts. Like, you told me sort of vaguely that we had been roasted by another podcast. Yeah. And 0 cells in my body felt sad about that.
Mm-hmm.
It honestly,
not me neither,
made me feel really happy and proud because my first thought was, I actually can't imagine going and listening to an episode of our podcast and not liking it on some level. Like, I was like, they have to know that they are doing a bad faith roast because I'm sorry, there's actually no way, because this, and it was just nice to learn that I had so much confidence in our podcast. Like, I was just like, nah, that's not true. They didn't go listen to it and they went to hate it on purpose, which is, of course you can do, but like, I'm sorry, I guarantee you that on some level they were charmed, and so would be
I think that just made them more mad.
I know. If their little baby boy listeners went, because their listeners are probably like 14, 15, maybe. You know what I mean? At least some large percentage. Of course, there are losers of all ages. And I don't even mean to say that the child listeners are losers, because they're not anything yet. They're still deciding. But there's still time. You guys can switch over to this podcast and you'll learn a lot about snakes.
And I promise you'll get a girlfriend. Yeah. It's actually the text me back guarantee.
Literally. Okay. I just feel like if you went into it and you weren't already sort of pickled.
Spiritually.
Spiritually pickled. And you give this podcast a shot.
You're going to like what you hear, see.
I think you're going to like what you hear.
Final note, I am not going to tell you the name of the podcast, but it is a play on a famous Seinfeld reference. So it just was like, really? Okay.
It's the most ancient, 57-year-old man reference.
Yeah.
And like, here's the thing about these guys. It's like, Tony Burrito, you are crying out for someone to really see you.
I know.
And if anyone, and this is how when I was at Jezebel and like, the manosphere was on the rise and all these sad guys, it was before incel was even a term, but they would just, I remember being like, you guys, if anyone's going to be nice to you, it's us. The feminists will be nice to you if you stop doing, and it's like,
whatever that is.
Like, Tony Burrito, Meagan and I are the only people on earth who could ever in a million years have excavated your stupid Seinfeld reference And yet you're pushing us away.
Okay.
Like,
I'll go. I'll go right on out. Oh, I'm so sorry. One last thing. They did get mad at you, not just for being fat and unfuckable, but they got mad at you because in the episode I was talking about Cal Raleigh, and you said, is that the butt guy? And I said, yes, the big dumper. And they're like, wow, Lindy West is objectifying men. And I would just like to say, just to be super clear, it might have gotten lost in translation somewhere. I don't know. But Lindy West is not the marketing professional who works for the Mariners organization who came up with the nickname the Big Dumper.
Weird.
So just wanted to share that wasn't Lindy's doing, just to clear things up.
Weird.
Anyway, that's my tiding. We have haters.
That is so fun. And I hope I hope they continue listening and get some sort of Stockholm syndrome. And then we have a whole
boys.
Imagine if suddenly there's an influx of 30,000 husbands.
Oh my God, boys! I think you'd like it.
I think you'd like it. It actually, we do very little politics over here. It's mostly the dumbest shit you've ever heard.
It's mostly butts. This reminds me, and then we're going to end the show. But this does remind me of. Sometimes you will listen to old shows and then you'll send me texts of jokes that one of us said in the show that made you laugh. And you recently sent me one that I said that I don't remember saying. So I didn't feel bad about it when I laughed my ass off at my own joke. And the joke was early on in the podcast, we were talking about how everything on Washington State is named after some guy that has never been there, including Mount Rainier. Yep. And I did this whole rant about Puget Sound. Come to find out, Peter Puget did go to Seattle at some point. It wasn't called Seattle at the time, but he did step foot there. And so I had to issue a correction. And what I said was Peter Puget actually did set foot in the Puget Sound. Spiritually, he didn't. But literally, he did. That got me good, girl.
Oh, Ironically, Peter Puget, not the recipient of a Sagamore Puget. No. He should change his name to Peter Pubit because he was using bad ethics and systems.
Bad ethics.
Peter
and
Pubis. Tactics.
He was a Peter Puget using bad ethics and tactics. Yes. Peter Puget. Pubit.
Gross ethics and tactics.
There you go.
Peter Puget.
We nailed it. And this is why they pay us the big. That's why they pay us the bug bucks. We're going
to take a break and then we're going to end the show.
Okay. Well, the show's over now. One last thing before we go, because you teased it at the beginning, but we have big news from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which is he being considered to be inducted, or he's actually being inducted?
He's being inducted. He's part of the class of 2026. Yes.
That's right. It's Luther Vandross, baby. And I feel like you're welcome.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's right. I think that Text Me Back podcast had a lot to do with it. I believe they said Luther Vandross being inducted * for Geno's and Greyhound. Go Greyhound.
And I feel like, we did our part in really raising awareness about Geno's Pizza. And so Luther, wherever you are, congratulations, dude. I mean, he genuinely really deserves it. Like, he's truly,
oh my God,
he's so talented and such a delight. He just really seemed like one of the nicest people, so kind, so talented. I'm sorry to say this. I know this is a famously sex negative podcast, but I just was thinking the other day, There's probably no other singer who ever lived who is more directly responsible for the continuation of the human race than Luther. Like, how many children were conceived?
What about Sade, Megan?
Well, I've forgotten about Sade. Touche.
No, but that's such a good point, Megan. It's so true.
Touche, as they say. But it's just like, how many children were conceived to a Luther Vandross song? It has to be in the millions, don't you think?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. His impact is immeasurable.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's being inducted based on the strength of the Gina's
mainly
jingle alone, mainly and mostly that. And so we're just gonna take a quick minute and listen to it. Why not?
I think we should. I think we gotta.
This is for you, Luther.
Geno's, you go for the food we've got. Geno's, you go for it sizzling hot. Geno's, you go for the food. Burgers, french fries, chicken too. Geno's, salad bars, steaks and milkshakes. Geno's, you go for the food. Geno's, you go for the food we've got. We've got it. Geno's, you go for it sizzling hot. Geno's, you go for the food.
Oh yeah.
I don't get tired of it, Megan. I can listen to it.
Now I'm ready. I'm ready for vacation now. Yeah.
Well, how are you going to get there, Megan?
Probably the bus.
People across America, from New York to LA, they're going with number one. They're going the Greyhound way. Someone you can trust. Go Greyhound and leave the driving to us.
Wow.
Megan,
do I want to book a trip on a Greyhound bus?
Do I need a pregnancy test?
Hello?
Well, am I going to give birth to a Mini Cooper?
Hello? So that was our show. For Lindy and me, this was our first show back in a long time. For you, it's like we never left. And that's what we endeavor to do for your ass is. What should we tell them about? Give us a call. Let us know how your penis is doing. 703-829-0003. Keep us posted. Dear text me back at gmail.com. And if you want to prove Tony Burrito wrong, follow us on YouTube.
Oh, yeah, let's do it.
And you can watch our videos there. I actually think, we got quite a few comments last week because, for the episode that aired last week because, or no, that's not true. By the time you hear this, a different episode would have. Jesus Christ. Oh no. 2 weeks ago, I think, was the episode where one of the episodes that we filmed at Diana's house and her dog Nix made an appearance. And many people were saying it was worth watching for the dog cameo. So we can't promise you a dog cameo every episode, but we do make a lot of really pleasant and hilarious faces. So
I'm making one right now.
Watch. Now you won't know what we did unless you watch it visually.
That's right.
And if you want to support the show, if you're like only 15% conversion rate. I think we could get that up to 20.
Yep.
Patreon.com/textmebacpod. You could make us a millionaire and put the show out of business.
And we'll never talk again.
You'll never see me again. They're going to be like, where's Meagan? Oh, she's on the boat that sits inside of the bigger boat. The boat has a boat and she's inside of that one.
Yep.
That's what
I think I'm pretty sure you can buy that with $1 million.
Yep.
Yep.
I can buy 1/2 of one condo in Seattle, I think, for $1 million. So, okay. See you next week. I'll tell you guys all about Puerto Rico and whether or not I got to kiss Ricky Martin on his mouth. A little besito for Ricky. Mwah! I can't stop the show. I'm not the host.
Bye.
Bye.